Good morning, everybody. Robert here, CTO for AIO Integrations, and I'm actually back again. I decided to make kind of a series of this just for Alignable because there's so many good questions being answered or asked and answered by many others about things about their business. It's one of the things I love about Alignable is that there is genuine need and outreach in this group. Uh, Congratulations to our team. I want to say that we got accepted as a alignable alliance partner, which we're in there's some training and materials you have to do for that, and we're in the middle of that now, so we'll be finished with that this week. But we're extremely excited about that because it's going to allow us to do some things. We're going to work with some other alignable partners in Houston, and we're going to be putting on both virtual events, actual, real events where we can go meet people in person, and then we're also going to be doing a combination of both. So we're trying to put together a really neat platform to really help and push people. We do a lot of mentoring, and I like that part of the business. It's the part of the business I love the most. I found out, I'm a level three engineer. It's what I do for a living. Okay, I'm an IT engineer. I've done work for Dell on two continents. I've done work for Baylor College of Medicine. I've done work in the bioscience area, and then I've managed MSPs for 20 plus years. So some I've owned, some other people have owned, and so I've got a very diverse field of expertise. But it's not about me. What I'm trying to get to here is the fact that I really, the hard part was trying to find out what I really like to do. What is the thing I get the most enjoyment out of my work? Do I like the IT work and the challenge of solving those kind of problems? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's challenging. But the best thing that I love about what I do is I get to sit down with business owners every week, like yourselves, either virtually or in person, and I get to talk about their business. I get to find out what makes them tick, what they're trying to do, and I get to help them change their business and make it better and help them live the dream they got in business for, and that is having the financial freedom that goes along with having a business. Now, I will tell you, sometimes having a business can feel like a prison. Sometimes you will eat, sleep, and drink and dream work, and that's what owning a small business is. A lot of times, it's very much so that way. So we always try to help owners understand what their real goal was in the first place before they got crazy busy and don't have enough time to do everything. And we try to create a path to get to where they wanted to go in the first place. And that was having a business created the financial freedom, but also gave them the freedom to live the kind of life that they wanted to have with their family and so on. And that's usually why people get into business, is to have that kind of financial freedom to live where they want to live, do what they want to do, and spend the kind of time, the quality time with their families that they want to spend. So, and to me, being a Christian and a family, I have, four kids, I have three grandchildren. I want those things, not just for myself, but for other people, because I believe family is the single best investment you can have in your life. It always comes first. Work is always second, although it doesn't feel that way all the time. But we try to keep that mantra as we can. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the topics that came up. I'm going to do this every Monday. I'm going to put up a video blog of some of the questions we heard and my answers to them and explain them a little bit. You may agree with them or disagree with them. That's fine. I love talking about those topics. So please comment, say something. I'd love to answer back and open that debate. Just I don't want to see it get ugly. Everybody's got different opinions. Let's just respect each other's opinions and agree to disagree if we have to. But I've not really found that here. I've found a lot of people want to help, a lot of good attitudes, and I love it. It's one of the things I like better about Alignable over things like LinkedIn is it's just a better community, and that's a compliment to you guys. So one of the things that somebody asked for last week is what's a good book to read to help me in my business? Well, I'm going to talk about three actually. The third one I don't remember the name of, but I'm going to talk about the um, what it was trying to get across, and it has made so much of an impact in my life, and I think it's really important. So I'm going to save it for last. The first one is going to be a book called Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins or Tony Robbins. A lot of people know him. He's a motivational speaker. He's been around forever. But one of the first books he wrote called Unlimited Power, I have a signature edition that I have where he actually signed it from one of his events back when I was very young in my career, when he first got started. And I thought it was absolutely amazing to see this guy because I actually I was not his friend. I knew him by acquaintance because I used to surf in Southern California. If anybody knows anything about his history, that's where he's from. I used to hang around Newport, Corona Del Mar area. And he was not the guy he is today. And when I got to meet him for the first time, went to one of his professional webinars that our company paid, I don't know, $275 an hour to go see. I did not realize that this was the same guy that I used to know who, was out surfing and drinking beer and partying. It just blew me away. He remembered me. I didn't remember him. And I just asked him, I said, man, how did you get from there to here? And he says, yeah, he told me that was a topic for another time, a longer conversation, which we never did get to have. But he said, read the book. I talk a lot about it in there. And so I bought a copy of the book. He signed it for me and I read it. And I will say it's one of the most um, useful books in my career, because what it talks about is communicating with people at their level, being able to understand people by simply looking in a room, by looking at their office, by hearing their tone of voice, by listening to how they speak and their mannerisms in person, and determining the type of person you're talking to, what they value from those things, and then altering how you communicate to communicate in like kind. And it teaches you how to manage expectations in your communications by doing that. When you're communicating with people, if you're up here and they're down here, and vice versa, you're going to have problems. You guys, your expectations of where this conversation is going is going to be very different. But what he teaches you about understanding where they are, so you can put yourself on that same level, and you guys can communicate. And that is where you make huge difference in your life. And it doesn't matter if it's sales or relationships, it's applicable in every part of your life. Great book. I highly recommend you read it. The second one is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Basically, the author did it. He did research that basically led to the fact that most successful people and effective people in life have similar habits. They have ways they got from A to B to be productive. And the book is about those habits and how to implement them in your life, and I highly recommend you read it. The third is the one I can't remember the name of for the life of me. It's a small book, and I can't remember where I found it. If I find it, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to show you, so hopefully you can pick it up for yourself. But what it was a book about how you look at life, and how you look at life determining what comes into your life. And it's amazing how true that is. And I'm going to give you an example. If you go through your life with a negative outlook, you put negative things around you, you just look at the things you don't like about life. If that's all you're constantly looking at and all you're feeling, all you're keeping in front of you, the likelihood of you being able to succeed at anything is going to be very slim to none. I had a personal experience with that when this book came into my life. I was very absorbed in politics. I was so upset with what our politicians were doing. I didn't want to pay my taxes because I didn't think that they were doing the right things. So I just, and that has nothing to do with it. I did pay them. But my point is that I became so distracted in my life about what I didn't like that I forgot about all the good things that were in it. And I was neglecting my family, my kids. So I finally, I sat down with my wife and we talked about it. And she is the one who recommended this book, which is life of me. I don't even know where we bought it from, but she had me read it, and she told me she read it when she was at a low point in her life, and I read it. And I was just amazed. I said, you're right. You bring into life the things that you look at. You have to keep your goals and visualize your goals. And there's a lot of people that talk about this. I mean, goal setting is very important, but what they talked about was keeping the things that are most important to you in front of you. And when you do, you bring those things into your life because you attract them by how your outlook is. And people see that, and it draws those type of people into your life. And I can tell you, man, people look at my resume and they go, "Oh my God, this can't be true." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is. This is what I've done. I've been very fortunate to have a very wonderful career, and I like what I do, and I'm totally 100% satisfied with what I do. Is it challenging at times? Sure, because it's outside the box. But you know what? I wouldn't trade a day of it for anything else because I get to do what I want to do, what I really truly enjoy doing every day, and that's important to me." My dad told me once that if you do what you enjoy doing, then you'll never work a day in your life. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but I can tell you that I enjoy my work, and it is a great part of who I am. My family, my wife, they understand that. My friends understand that. And they know I'm willing to help at any time with anything they need. So it doesn't intrude on my personal life, sure, a little bit, but I don't mind that. I like that my family, my friends, they understand that about me, and they are able to accept that, and and that they trust me enough to come with me with questions and things that are important in their life. So that's a good thing. But the goal here is keep it, write it down, put it in front of you, put it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror, talk about it with you, keep those goals alive in every single day in how you do things, and they will come into your life. One of my favorite sayings, I don't even remember where I heard it. It's been around forever, but it's when luck is when preparation meets opportunity. When you're prepared for something, it happens, and that opportunity presents itself. And because you were prepared, you were ready for it, and you could take advantage of it. And that there's no truer saying in life than that. There are many others that are very similar to it, but I wanted to share that. And if I find that book, I'm going to bring it up and I'll talk about it in some more detail. But it was amazing how that book impacted my life, and I made a huge positive change in my life from that point forward. That affected my communication with my family. It affected my relationship with my wife, my kids, how I did business. It got me back in what I considered to be the real world, and that is the world of people and working with people, and not worried about things I have zero control over. And it helped me gain control of the things I did and how to make them better. And that's an important thing. So one of the other things, I'm going to kind of address three questions with this topic, but it's more about kind of mixing business with personal life. That's what I'm going to entitle it. There's three questions that I saw come up that I figured that kind of address this, and I thought I'm going to address them very quickly because there are several mixed opinions about this, and people are very passionate about it. One was, should I bring my kids to a business meeting? Absolutely not. That's my opinion. That's my belief. You're there to business meetings are usually about addressing a need of somebody else or somebody coming to you with a need, and I want to give them 100% of my attention. If I have my kids there, I'm not doing that, and it's just not professional. Most professionals are going to tell you this, but it's a different world now. I understand people are coming up with different ways of doing things. I get that. So that's up to you what you want to do in your business life. Me personally, that's what I exercise. Okay. Secondly, is going to be what's the best quality to look for or to have as a business owner. We talked about integrity, and I think I said something about integrity and commitment. Now, and I say that because there are times when you're going to step up, look in the mirror, and go, "Why did I do this? Oh my God, I'm crazy. I should just go back and work for somebody else and get a regular paycheck." Or even maybe your wife or spouse is trying to tell you that because it's easier. Yeah, it's easier. It's not easy work owning a business. You're going to work harder than you probably ever worked in your life, but it is more rewarding. And if you make a good plan for success and you follow it and you keep your goals in front of you, you will get where you want to go, and you will end up doing what you enjoy. You'll end up having the time you want with your family, and those kind of questions won't even be questions anymore. You'll know you did the right thing. So um, the last one is going to be, somebody posted something about your cell phone. Should you use your cell phone in your business card? I know that's kind of silly, but you know what? I used to do that. Nowadays, VoIP phone systems can take, VoIP, voice over IP, things like Ring Central, Vonage. Those numbers can take faxes, they can take text, they can do everything a cell number can and more. And you can put an app on your phone so you can receive those calls while you're out and around without compromising your personal information. So yeah, I would say probably about as long as about 8, 10 years ago, I stopped giving out my personal cell number. And now, if it's somebody I want to have access to after hours and we need that access, yeah, I do. But if it's a regular client that I don't see that need for, it gives me the choice. It gives me the choice to have that separation of personal from business. I do believe that business is personal in a lot of ways. I don't believe this. Oh, it's business. It's not personal. Well, but the best business is done through friends. Most of my people that I've known in my lifetime, my business partners, were friends that were customers first. Uh, our CEO of the company here was my customer and friend for 14 years before we ever got into business with each other. And that's because we established that as a friendship and a working relationship. We got to see how each other works. And when the opportunity came where I needed some advice, he wanted to be involved with that because he respected the kind of person I am. And that's how that goes sometimes. So you never know. If you asked me 15 years ago if I'd be doing business with my CEO and he'd be my business partner, I'd say, I doubt it. But you don't know. And that's the whole point. You do not burn bridges. You do not do things that can jeopardize your business in the future. Live and treat your business like you want to be treated, and you will find opportunities present themselves. So that was my little take on some of that personal versus business stuff I wanted to answer. So yeah, there's no need to share your. I could answer those business phones on my cell phone, no matter where I'm at. I could take my business anywhere, and it's not expensive to do. Most of these lines cost anywhere from $15 to $25 a line, and you can carry it on your cell phone, and you can have the professionalism of a business phone that's up 24/7. No matter what happens in here, you could have a hurricane and your house not be standing, your office be gone, but you still have a phone up, and customers can still reach you. That's important. So, and that's what you want for your business. You want to be there for your clients. Um, I'm going to go into one of the other topics that I thought was interesting is cash flow. There was a question that came up about cash flow, and do you have a cash flow problem or a sales problem? And I'll tell you, that's an interesting question. I found myself asking myself this exact question. So I've owned several businesses, most of them successful, and I've sold them. I had one that failed at the time of Enron. It was mostly because the Enron market collapsed, and so did our funding. So we never really got off the ground like I would have, and I was into it very substantially. I had funded it myself, so it was a personal loss that I took very hard, but it was a lesson. It was a lesson that taught me something about business. And the true thing here about when you're coming and you're looking at sales, okay? We sell to companies, we sell to individuals, and the only time I ever got caught with my pants down in a business was during Hurricane Harvey. We had an MSP, a managed service, an IT managed services company, and we actually had where our specialty was small business companies under 100 employees. We had been in business for 10 years. We had no troubles. We had went through two hurricanes, three major storms. I mean, we've been through probably four flooding events without ever having it affect our business. Harvey changed all that. Harvey came in and not only took business property, but it took people's homes that had no flood insurance. That it was what we call an 800-year flood. In other words, something that happens once every 800 years. It actually exceeded the flood lines of anything anybody ever anticipated. It took homes. It took people's lives away, not just their physical lives as far as living, but it took their financial lives away. People who were retired and had beautiful homes that were worth $1 million were stuck in flooded homes that were worth a quarter of that, and had to sell them for what they could because they couldn't afford to fix them, and go live in managed communities with retirees now. Well, talk about a change in lifestyle. Um, that it changed life a path for a lot of people. So our business, we were doing, I don't know, $50,000-$60,000 a month as an ISP. We were a small company, but we were 5-6 people, but we did good. We had plenty of resources. The way we did business was very effective. Harvey changed in 1 month. We went and lost 75% of our revenue in 1 month because of a hurricane. Because people now had to put money into their homes that they had no flood protection for. They had to choose between their homes and their families and their business. And of course, they're choosing their homes and their families. So we lost 75% of our business overnight. Now luckily we came out, we sold our business. It turned out as a success story. Within 3 months, we sold our business to another company. We merged, and everybody got to keep their jobs, no problem. Everything went on. But I had it was the type of clients we had. We were not going after active clients all the time. We felt we had, what we needed to do the job. And we felt we didn't need to go after clients all the time. And because of that mentality, thinking that our plate was full, we didn't need any more, we could do fine with what we got, we realized a hard lesson, and that is sales change. No matter how long you've been doing business with a client, things change. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane, new management, an owner dies, whatever, things change, and you have to be prepared for that. What it taught me is I lost one of my largest clients during that time who accounted for probably 30% of my business, and it hurt. It was like losing 10 of my smaller guys just in one dude, one business. Dude, there you go. I'm showing my age on that one, right? So how it basically came out is we learned that there's safety in numbers. We have multiple sales funnels open all the time. We do B2B, we do business with consumers, we do business with businesses, we do mentoring, we do business automation, we do a lot of different things, and we have funnels coming in from all different ways. And because we do that, there is not any one way that it can really hurt us very badly, even if we lost an entire funnel on one side. Sure, it's going to hurt because we don't want to lose that business, but we're safer because of that old phrase, safety in numbers. And I would rather have a bunch of small to medium clients than a few big ones because everybody's going after the big ones. And I get to deal with the person, the business owners, instead of dealing with a committee or a group of people in a larger company that everybody's trying to go after. We deal with more guys like you, the small guys, the guys that are really trying to make a difference in what they do and doing what they enjoy and are passionate about it. So the last thing I'm going to say about this is somebody, all this comes down to understanding yourself, the good and the bad. And I'm going to give you an example. When we started AIO Integrations, I am a tech person. I am first and foremost an engineer. I love speaking with people. I love consulting. I can solve I haven't come across a problem I can't solve yet. And if I don't, I have a huge knowledge pool of people I've worked with over the past 30 years that I reach out to, talk to, and help me understand or look at something in a different light or from a different angle to help solve a problem. And they're, just as important as my own personal knowledge. No one person can know everything. And when somebody comes off as, oh, I'm the expert, I'm the guru, that I start doing this and go away. That scares me. I learn stuff, new stuff every single day, and from the weirdest of places, from the most unlikely places and sources. And what I find is if you make yourself a vacuum of information, in other words, but pick and choose what you're doing and spending your time with on that, but things that can constructively help what you do, then you learn every day. I learn every day things about my business, things about other people's businesses. We touch many different verticals, and it really helps us understand how people can do business better in their own verticals. But you need to know yourself. I am not a money person. I've learned over the years, the last person you want to do in your books is me. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. I don't want to do that. But if you need me to find out how technology can govern your business, make your business work better and save money and automate it, yeah, I'm your guy. If you want to find a way to implement technology to make things more effective and streamline your business, I'm your guy. But when it comes to that, no, it's not me. So I went and reached out to people that I knew were good at that and involved them in my business. It's not expensive to get a bookkeeper that can do your books for QuickBooks. And if you're using the right kind of software, you don't have to do the busy work. They just have to go in and kind of match up your bank, balance your bank accounts, do your statements, file your taxes, and you're done. And you can spend very little money on an accountant and a CPA doing that. Most of the software nowadays, if you're looking and researching it and doing it right, you don't have to account for all the busy day-to-day busy work. They don't have to be involved in your business every day, and they know that. And most good ones will tell you that. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses. If you aren't strong at something, don't try to do it. Don't try to be the master chef of all things. Okay? There's an old saying: if you're good at something, spend your time doing it and be great at it. You can't be great at everything, and those who try usually fail at everything. Then, instead of being great at one thing, they usually fail at everything. And I've seen that happen more times in my life than not. So I hope this is useful for you. We're going to do one every week talking about some of the things, the questions we saw, some of the comments we made to kind of explain where we come from on those. I appreciate you watching. Again, this is Robert, CTO for AIO Integrations. Feel free to message me through Alignable or email at robert@aiointegrations.com if you'd like to talk about anything I can help your business with. Specifically, we don't do these in these videos. They're more for educational purposes and to help people struggling with things inside their own business. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.